Hey, what's going on? Today we're going to be looking at the Kiwi-Ears Serene. High resolution 72mm by 89mm fully enclosed planar driver. Now I'm looking at the old specs. And the old specs, it was originally a 57.5mm driver. So it has been updated. As you can see, there's a different driver here, and it's good because I haven't gotten really that driver flex that the original people were. That's why I held off on these until they were actually released. Sometimes it's better to do that. So it's fully enclosed planar driver. And again, it is a 72mm by 89mm driver, much larger than the original 57 that was prone to the flex and everything in the other reviews. Yeah, let's get over some of the specs here on the side of the box. 50 ohms impedance, 102 decibels of sensitivity. Rated power is 10 milliwatts, maximum is 20 milliwatts, 20 to 20 kilohertz, voltage 0.57 volts, less than 3% THD. This is a collab between Z Reviews and Kiwi-Ears, a brand I absolutely love. Their in-ears, I've loved all their budget offerings for the headphones that I've tried out. So anyway, unique kind of lavenderish purple pink kind of looking design. I would have liked to have seen like maybe the Z logo on the on the cups and the Kiwi-Ears logo on the other side. That would have just put it over the edge. There is logos on the headband. The headband does have some cushioning. I noticed that I can feel a screw right here if you really press on it, but as long as you don't have this humongous head that's like stressing these out, little metal plates there. This is all metal, and this is the extension that I have to have it on. I think it goes a little bit more. So there is enough adjustment there for most heads, although the clamping force on larger heads probably will be felt, even though these pads are really plush. I mean, that should be the overall theme of this particular unit is plush, because it has a really plush sound, plush, comfort to it. Really nice protein leather pads, left and right indicators. There's padding on the inside as well in there. They do come off. You can change them for other pads. Overall construction is decent. This is like a leatherette type vinyl. Padding. The cups obviously are all plastic, except for the end cap here, which is on the faceplate is metal, and metal here, so metal throughout the headband. Overall, not too much noise. There is that little pop, which I think is that screw right there, and I could peel this down and tighten it, but I don't want to have to glue that back on, so I'm not even going to bother unless it becomes an issue. So far, no QC issues with this whatsoever. The cable, nice thick nylon, single-ended. I would have liked to see balanced or modular. There's a nice splitter here with both the Zeos logo and the Kiwi-Ear logo. So, decent cable, although it can get kind of janky and tangly and everything. It's decent enough. It's good cable. That's all you get in the box. There's no pouch. I would have liked to see a pouch at least to store these. There's a manual in there, and then the unit itself. Comfort-wise, I would give these really good marks, except for the clamping force, depending on your head size. The pad-wise, though, 100% marks on that. They're very, very comfortable. Good job for stock pads. The headband was comfortable, like I said. There's only that little thing there, which I don't feel personally. Good adjustment. Overall, decent build quality. Not the best build quality compared to some of the other units, but still good build quality. Sound-wise on this. Now, Looking at the other reviews, 57.5 by 51 fast response planar magnetic. So obviously this review is going to be much different than my review, although the sound seems to be the same. Very warm, lush tuning. Neutral mid-range, neutral warm. Full-bodied mid-range, at least with the lowers. A little brighter in the uppers. So both male and female vocals sound great. There's a decent separation here, a decent clarity. The mid-range do take a little dip because it is kind of a U-ish V shape. Bass-wise, I think that the mid-bass is punchy. Sub-bass is equal. They're not like one overpowers the other, but the sub-bass does have a faster roll-off. So, there is a rumble there, but it doesn't last very long. Overall, that makes them highly enjoyable and non-fatiguing to listen to. Moving into the treble is a little bit more toward the darker, smooth side. Although there's air and extension and some sparkle there, but it isn't treble head territory, not even close. Treble sensitive people, people that are more sensitive to when the upper mid and lower treble have that spike, you're going to be fine with this. It is not harsh in the least bit. I think that technically wise, it does a decent job giving off the information that it needs to give off, but it is more towards the kind of smoother, more enjoyable kind of type. It is, overall warm and engaging, but at the same time, super kind of safe and enjoyable. Some people may not like that the treble does lack some energy, but overall, it sounds good. It's a very nice kind of non-critical, non-serious kind of tuning that you can use listening, take it to the gym, whatever. But with that, now, comfort is going to be subjectable depending on your head size. The isolation is very, very good. The build quality is better than average, but there's still some quirks, especially with early models. Be sure to make sure when you get it to look at that driver, make sure you have that new driver, which seems to be a bit better. I think that this applies to a large variety of music and people, everything from electronic and everything. Anybody that's not looking, they want to pinpoint all the stuff. Now, the soundstage has a decent kind of width. I think that the imaging is excellent. I think that the overall performance of the planar is good. It's speedy. It's powerful. I think that it really does scale well, but it also, at the same time, it does need some power. I've seen people that were doing just like little Bluetooth adapters with that. I would never do that. I use the V3 Blaze with this and some of the other higher, DAC amps that I have. Like the March, which is right over here, and the TK2 and the Griffin, and the Valkyrie. I found that the V6 just wasn't cutting it. You're going to get some like mucky muddiness in the lowers when you're not giving it enough power. That said, though, overall, it's decent. It's a decent kind of just warm and just rich kind of tuning. I found it engaging and pleasant. And if you're not looking to have that super high V-shaped sparkle and the super high, deep pounding bass, this unit would be something that a lot of people would like, especially the look-wise. There's a lot of people going to like this lavender look and the simplicity in the look. It doesn't say kiwi ears all over the place, which I wouldn't have minded, to be honest. 2 little goes right there. Decent cable, like I said, but it does tangle a bit and gets like little kinks here and there, so just make sure when you store it, decent. I'm going to change the cable out anyway. The pads are very, very good. I was going to change the pads out, but there's really no need to do that. They do fit my ears, but like I said, the space on the inside here, is not the largest. So if you have big ears, maybe it might be touching on the sides. Hot environments, I wouldn't recommend these in hot environments. It's a closed back. It's protein pads. They're going to get all sweaty. Protein pads sometimes tend to peel in hot environments. So if you can keep these inside, use these indoors, I think that these probably will serve you well for a long time. It's a decent quality unit overall if you count everything. And I know that there have been problems in the past, but so far, so good with this unit. So that one has been the Kiwi-Ears Serene. And this is the updated version with the 72 millimeter by 89 millimeter planer driver, not the 50, whatever it was, 52 or whatever. Thank you again. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.